Hi everyone, welcome to Easy LED Academy. I'm Mary, the hostess today. Easy LED Academy is a professional training platform owned by Easy LED Visual and powered and endorsed by LED industry technology leaders such as Novastar, Macroblock, NationStar, RGB Link, Premier Monts, and more. To learn more about us, you can follow us on LinkedIn. Also, if you have any specific questions or would like to learn about a specific technology in LED displays, you can email us at easyledacademy@easyledvisual.com. In episode 2, our trainer Friseline has walked you through the professional category for fine-pitch LED display applications. Today, the focus is the commercial category, which accounts for more than half of overall fine-pitch applications. Vertical markets to be discussed today are corporate, education, retail, and cinema. Let's welcome our trainer today, Mr. Friseline, the founder of Easy LED Academy and the president of Easy LED Visual.
Hi everyone. Today we are going to continue with fine pitch LED vertical market analysis. In episode 2, we talked about the professional category. Today in episode 3, we are going to explore the commercial category. The commercial display category refers to fine pitch LED displays used primarily for promoting commercial value and branding influence. Commercial display applications include corporate, education, retail, and cinemas. It is worth mentioning that the corporate segment alone accounts for more than 35% of overall commercial applications. It may grow even faster during and after the COVID-19 pandemic as more and more companies are adopting video conferencing systems for remote meetings. COVID-19 accelerated a digital transformation from traditional whiteboards to digital displays. So let's look at corporate market first. Here is an example of a corporate LED wall. To use fine-pitch LED walls for corporate applications, you need to take the following factors into consideration. Number 1. Fine-pitch LED displays for corporate are primarily used in boardrooms, showrooms, and lobbies. LED walls used in boardrooms and showrooms usually run at 30% brightness or less. A finer gray to achieve high grayscale in low brightness condition is critical. If used in lobbies, especially lobbies with glass walls or other transparent structures where there will be direct sunlight, higher brightness up to 800 to 1000 nits may be needed. Number 2. Corporate boardrooms typically use standard format video walls with a resolution of 1080p or 4K, as that makes content creation much easier since 1080p content is fairly easy to make and find. So the most popular product model is standard 2K Full HD walls, specifically 108 inches 1.2mm, 136 inches 1.5mm, 163 inches 1.8mm, and 217 inches 2.5mm. You can choose different sizes of LED walls based on your boardroom dimensions. Some larger conference rooms may choose 4K LED walls, which can be 163 inches 0.9mm, 217 inches 1.2mm, and 271 inches 1.5mm. Number 3. Corporate LED walls must have good heat dissipation to avoid impacting the room temperature and to protect the electrical components inside the LED panels. Heat output is usually measured by BTU or British Thermal Unit. The reference standard per square meter of fine-pitch LED walls should be less than 750 BTU per hour typical or 2500 BTU per hour max. Also, the fine-pitch LED panel design should be finished to ensure the meeting room is noise-free. Number 4. Ease of maintenance is required. typically for replacing a module with dead pixels. This should be designed to simple steps that even non-professional people can swap a module using a front service tool and put a new module back on to make the LED wall work properly. Number 5. Automatic loading of calibration data, also known as onboard flash memory, is required. Unlike professional projects where there are always technicians available, corporate LED walls are usually maintained by in-house technicians who may not be very familiar with LED walls software. Therefore, the automatic loading of original calibration data is needed after replacing modules. Number 6. Compatibility with new technologies, hardware, and software is important. With more and more video conferencing technologies emerging during the COVID-19 pandemic, LED walls as a core component in video conferencing should be compatible with the latest technologies. Number 7. Touch screens are an important optional feature as the market demand for interactive video walls grows. Currently, multi-touch fine-pitch LED walls are mostly designed as all-in-one LED TVs combined with infrared-based touch system. Number 8. Traditional display equipment like LCD and projection are the major competitive products of fine-pitch LED displays. In terms of cost, fine-pitch LED displays are still much more expensive if the display size is less than 100 inches. Once the display size exceeds 100 inches, starting from 108 inches, fine-pitch LED display pricing becomes incredibly competitive. The next vertical market we need to talk about is education. And actually, it's a little controversial to classify education into the commercial category. But this classification is following commercial LCD's vertical market categorization. So anyway, let's just focus on the market itself. When we talk about education vertical market, there are two major scenarios. One is classroom, which is relatively smaller in size, and the other is lecture hall, multimedia hall, or auditorium, which are relatively larger in size. To be more accurate, classrooms are not just using an LED display, but a whole interactive system. So the key factors in classroom applications are: number 1, it must be a touch screen that can be used for writing. Number 2, it must offer proper protection to prevent students from damaging the display by touching or hitting the display surface. Number 3, the brightness should be less than 250 nits and adjustable depending on lighting condition. We need to protect the students' eyes from being hurt by excessive brightness. Number 4, the resolution cannot be lower than 1080p as there will be a lot of text or words displayed, so lower resolution displays may deliver blurry images that students cannot see clearly. Number 5, it must have an easy-to-use operating system for teachers to use it as a digital whiteboard. Number 6, the capability to play content cast by other smart devices, whether by adding external dongles or built-in functionality modules. The other non-classroom application scenario in education is, as mentioned earlier, lecture hall, multimedia hall, or auditorium. This is very similar to corporate application, so please check the corporate application analysis we talked about earlier in this episode. That's all for education market analysis. Okay, next we're gonna talk about retail. Retail stores, especially chain stores, have been pursuing the latest and the greatest display technology to improve shopping experience. Luxury brands are always following cutting-edge technology that can add a wow factor to attract potential buyers. So for retail application, the following factors are critical. Number 1. Product dimensions need to be flexible for creative design. 45 and 90-degree corner pieces as well as soft or flexible modules are frequently used for custom design. Number 2. For high-end luxury stores, color performance is critical for accurately representing the fine details. Number 3. Lightweight LED panels are always preferred for safety and wall loading capacity concerns. Number 4. Slim LED panels must comply with certain building codes regarding the total depth of the LED wall, especially for off-premises LED walls outside stores but inside shopping malls. Number 5. Safety is a major factor in LED wall structure design, whether it's wall mounting, hanging, or floor standing. Proper finishing must be done to prevent people from hitting their heads or stumbling over the floor stand leg. Number 6. Retail applications usually include multiple walls, requiring centralized control for all LED walls. Number 7. Other products used for retail application include portrait LED posters and COB banner displays for shelves. The last vertical market we're going to talk about is cinema. In 2019, a Korean manufacturer launched its cinema screen in 16 countries, trying to compete against projections in the cinema market. This cinema screen features 4K resolution at 2.5mm pitch, 600 nits brightness, and a minimum viewing distance of 5 meters or 16 feet. While the entire industry has been following closely its daring attempt, the COVID-19 pandemic put a full stop to this development trend. By far, cinemas worldwide have been closing their doors for 6 months or even longer. The release of new movies has been postponed to different degrees, and the movie production industry has experienced the darkest period ever in history. Assuming cinema business recovers quickly after the pandemic, fine-pitch LED displays, despite their various advantages for cinema application, are facing the following major challenges. Number 1. Market challenge. The cinema market has long been dominated by projections with over 80% market share taken by Barco and Christie, and the market access threshold will be very high with a combination of certifications and licenses required. Number 2. Financial challenge. Cinema digital display equipment upgrade is always a long-term investment, and it takes years to recoup the investment. Therefore, it requires large-scale cash flow to start, and in current pandemic conditions, there could be a lack of investment to drive large-scale use of LED displays in cinemas. Number 3. Technical challenge. While fine-pitch LED displays can easily achieve a high refresh rate and ultra-high resolution, the cinema market requires much more than that. Other requirements are high dynamic range or HDR, naked eye 3D technology, and a demanding standard for color range, which is the DCI-P3 standard. Currently, industry consensus is that it may take about 2 years for LED display manufacturers to be ready for this application in terms of product readiness, market access, and investment ROI assessment. In summary, it's possible to see smaller scale attempts to replace projections with fine-pitch LED displays in the near future, and there is a long way to go before large-scale application of LED walls in cinemas. To make a quick summary of what we talked about today, we have dived in the commercial category of fine-pitch LED displays and made an in-depth analysis on corporate, education, retail, and cinema vertical markets. If you have any further questions or would like to have a more detailed discussion with us, you can email us at easyledacademy@easyledvisual.com. That's all for episode 3. Please follow us on LinkedIn for more videos to come. Thank you for your attention. See you next time.